have arrived. Can you believe it? We have 2 fig trees on our property, and when the first one flushes out with juicy green figs, I know that summer is really, truly here. The figs here are a task, and I mean a task. Once they start fruiting, they don't stop for months. The one to the east is first to come on with fruit, and it will bring flush after flush of luscious honey-filled fruits until it finally takes a rest, and then the tree to the west kicks in. The figs come in successive waves, and if I don't stay on top of it, they make a royal mess, and they bring in all kinds of undesirables to the yard, so I have to stay vigilant, picking ripe fruits daily, and coming up with ways to use them, preserve them, and distribute them to eager neighbors and friends as quickly as possible. Figs are one of the only plant species that we know for sure was in the Garden of Eden because it says so right in the book of Genesis, and it's so fitting. Fig trees are givers. They are a physical representation of abundance and of life. Now I'm going to make a quick fig jam. I don't really follow an exact recipe for this. I'm going to play around with it a bit, and I'm going to store the first jar in the fridge, so it doesn't really have to be too perfect. This will keep up to 3 months there without any extra canning steps, but I highly doubt it'll be around that long because it is just so delicious. We have roughly 1 pound of figs today, give or take, and I can't get over the color. They are almost unreal. I'm going to cut off the tops before I process them because figs have a little latex in the stem that can be astringent, and it just doesn't taste all that good when it's mixed with everything. Then I'm going to blend them all up smooth. You can simply chop these to make a chunkier jam, which I have done in the past, but I think that blending really brings out the bright colors of the fruit and it makes it more spreadable for toasts and things. After blending, I will just add in some sugar and lemon juice to taste, and I let it all simmer together on the stove for around 20 minutes to thicken up. Be careful if you try this out because things can get messy if you are not constantly stirring. While I continue making this jam, I wanted to try my best to answer some more of your questions. One question I have been getting a lot is about pests. What do we do about pests in our garden? And this question is so full that it's hard to really answer in one short video. But if you are looking for a short answer, like what do I use when I have a pest problem, I guess the answer would be neem oil and ladybugs are my go-tos. Neem oil can be added to soil or sprayed right onto the leaves. It is organic and food and kid safe, and it's great for just about any plant. It fights against fungus and insect pests, so it's really an all-around great tool to have in your arsenal. I also rely heavily on ladybugs. Our food forest has an abundance of ladybugs now, and because of that, we don't have any problems with aphids or other soft-bodied pests. The ladybugs are voracious hunters, and they patrol the plants militarily. They're quick to do ladybug things as well, which means that once we establish a population, we have them around for years. Recently, I noticed a little outbreak of aphids on one of my dahlias, so I have started releasing ladybugs here at home as well. They do their job admirably, and I will continue to release them in hopes that they will bed down in our mulch and continue to grow in numbers. You can see here in the morning, I noticed the aphids, I released the ladybugs, and I came back about 3 hours later, and you can just see how they have done a number on those aphids. In addition to these things, I feel like the pest question merits so much more than just a quick fix or a short answer like this. The true answer is that if you are dealing with pests, you should try your best to assess your system and see why it is so attractive to the pests in the first place. Maybe you're doing too much monocropping. You're offering an irresistible buffet to whichever pests you're trying to avoid. Maybe your soil isn't exactly where you want it to be, and your plants are therefore not as resistant to pest attack. Maybe you focus more on planting your desired food crops and you forgot to intersperse some other plants like onions or garlic or marigolds, which will all repel unwanted pests. You could also do things that make your growing space more attractive to other pest predators. For instance, installing bat boxes or getting a cat if you have rats and squirrels munching on your fruit trees. These are all things to consider when dealing with pests in the garden. Try to see your growing space as a whole picture, as a whole environment. Think about what you want to get out of your garden and how you can make the system work together towards that goal. Anyway, I hope this helps a bit. I'm going to jar up this jam now and set it aside to cool. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.